Right, you bunch of scallywags. I've got a part. Well, I've got more than one part. I've got some parts for my Truggy. I've got myself. I went to the one and only good I shouldn't say that. I went to one of the good RC shops. I always make enemies, and I'm going to end up making more enemies if I don't be careful. Anyway, I went to a really, really good RC shop, and I bought myself some Reds gaskets. These are the exhaust gaskets for mating up the manifold to the engine, because the one I've got doesn't fit. I didn't have one. I found one in the toolbox, doesn't fit. Anyway, this says it's for M and R series engines, so it should fit what I've got. And also, I couldn't find any, or not that it really matters, because an exhaust spring is an exhaust spring, but I couldn't find any Reds exhaust springs in this particular shop, so I just went for the next one, which was Nova. And I quite like Nova stuff. I've got a lot of Nova stuff, Nova engines. I've even got Nova on me jumper. So I've got a packet of 3 exhaust springs. I only need 2 of them. I don't know why they come in a pack of 3, because I don't know any engine that needs 3. I do know an engine that needs 3. I lied. Anyway, doesn't matter. I need 2. I've got a pack of 3. So I've got a spare one. And also, I've got now a radio box. And it come with obviously everything I need. Also come with those little blocks that I needed the other day, that I found loads of. Now this one got sent to me by a channel member. Yeah, a channel member. I didn't even know. And he said to me, look, I found one. I said, alright, thank you. And then he said, I'll send it to you. So it's come all the way from Germany, I think. I think it was in Germany. Come all the way from, I think, Germany. So thank you very much, Mr. Alfie Fury. If you see him, he is an absolute legend. If you see him in the comments, well, you're all the channel members and subscribers are legends. But you know, there are a couple that do stand out, and he's one of them. I'll tell you that now. So got a radio box with lids, switch cover, the lot. Let's get it all fitted. I can't wait. I can't wait. Right. Here we go. This should be, I'm going to say should, because normally the easy things end up being a bastard to do. But this should be quite a simple jibby job. Should have to just undo that bolt there. Right, lovely jubbly. By the way, in case you hadn't noticed, we're going to put the radio box in first. Set up all the radio gear. Well, I've already set that up, but you know what I mean, like get it all buttoned up. I've got a bat tray, and where did I get the bat tray from? I nicked it. I nicked it out of my techno buggy. I did. It wasn't very happy with me. It said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just chilling out." I said, "Right, that's not my problem." And then away I went. Let's undo these screws. We don't need them in there. We don't need that one in there either. This is some serious excitement. Serious excitement. I've never actually felt excitement like this before. In fact, the last time I felt excitement anywhere near this... What in the world is holding that? Have I got another? There is! There's another one. I missed one. It's alright. It's alright. I missed one. It was loose, so it probably means it was stripped out anyway. Yeah, the last time I felt excitement anywhere near this, right? Oh, look at that. I just made a toasted cheese sandwich. Yeah, I know. Bloody amazing. Right, nice and clean under there. One thing I've noticed, right, I've gotten into a bit of a habit recently, and it is a bad habit. I've told you a lot about this habit before, and it is a bit of a bad habit. You know, it isn't particularly good for the bank balance, as most habits aren't. But I've been buying these cars from subscribers, which, you know, means I'm more inclined to give them a decent price, which means I'm paying more for these buggies to make these videos. But I have noticed that they do tend to be bloody immaculate. Look, it's spotless. So well done to all of you lot that I've bought cars from. You bloody look after them, you do, I tell you that. That's the tray, that's the lid, that's the switch, that's the other lid, and they're all the little bits and bobs that we don't need because I've already fitted the servos. So yeah, I don't think I need them. I don't think I need them, John. That's a little switch blanking plate for the switch, if we're going to blank the switch off. But I'm not. I'm going to go proper nerd-tastic, and I'm going to put a little indicator in there and everything. That fits in there lovely. So the one that I had on here must have been for a different model, because it is slightly different. It's got a little thing on there for an R-clip which hit on that frame, so it was the wrong radio tray anyway. Not that it would have mattered, because a radio tray is a radio tray and it does its job. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that it might have been not the right one. But now we got, oh, it does fit. I was going to say, the bloody screw holes don't line up, but they do. It's fine, don't worry. They do. Oh yes, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Today is a Friday evening, and you're probably wondering to yourself, blimey Orinoco, these videos have been ever so slightly erratic recently. I mean, you know, one day there's that one, and then another day there's that one, but then all of a sudden there's none, and then there's, yeah, well, to be honest, I haven't got anything to make a video of, apart from this car. But the other thing is, I haven't got anywhere, really, to make them at the moment, so I'm working on it. Bear with me for a couple of minutes, and I am working on it. Don't worry about that. Oh, that's a lovely thread in there. Blimey. Oh, John will be pleased with that. Has anybody seen John? I haven't seen him for a long time. I don't know where he's gone. Even Manuel's, I think. Actually, I did. I heard from Manuel a little while ago. He's on holiday. He's in Spain. So that's why he's not about. Someone asked about him the other day, where's Manuel? I honestly don't know where Manuel is, but then I did hear from him. He's in Spain, so probably won't be long and he'll be back. He loves it over here. He loves it. He can't get enough. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Why don't they fit in there? He can't get enough of it over here. Right. So that's what we got there. These are extremely long servo wires, but we can just kind of bung them. I might get a cable tie and sort of tie them in a little knot or something, I don't know. Receiver can go in there. Yeah, I might get a little cable tie and just sort of tidy them up, perhaps. Bear with me for a momento. Right, so I've got them a little bit tidied up. They're kind of sitting in there like that. The receiver doesn't fit. Hopefully that will, yeah, it should be alright. I have got, I might put it on later on, I've got one of these little lids, but it's got bitty design on it, and I think it's carbon fibre. But we'll ignore that for now, and we'll just put what we've got, because we've got brand new stuff. Right, this is what I'm going to put on here. Should I put this on here? I don't know. It's a little battery indicator. I wanted to put it on because I've got quite a few of them and I don't use them. Because I always forget that I've got them. But then, do I want to put it on? It's just another thing I've got to stick on. Nah, let's leave it out. So that hump pack can go in there, but will it? I don't believe it, John. I don't believe it. Don't fit, does it? Don't fit. But I know what you're going to say, and I already know what you're screaming at the screen, because I know why it doesn't fit. I'm not stupid, but I wanted to try it anyway. The reason why it doesn't fit is because the battery tray is designed for a LiPo. It's designed for a 2S lipatic battery, because this whole Truggy is a race Truggy, and they use high voltage servos and LiPos for the receiver. That is why. Alright? And I know you're screaming at the screen, it don't fit because it's not designed for it, you gotta use a LiPo. I know, but I haven't got one for a start, and also the servos that I've put in it don't take high voltage, alright? So I haven't got any choice, but I will be able to get, well, I wonder if that'll fit in that one, but I will be able to get a battery to make it work, so don't worry. But that goes in there, and the battery should go in this long thing, because let me show you. Some of you might not know what I'm on about here. So let me get, where's it gone? Ah, it's over here. Right. Let me see what I've got here. Inside this ammunition box with no holes in it, and I always get told to put holes in my ammunition box. No thank you, I like my ammunition box. So here, that's a battery, that's a bad tray, 7.4 voltages. Probably, do you know what, I probably could use that one, but I don't think it's going to have enough oomph in it. Might do. The other one, oh no, I just realised the other one's inside the is inside the other buggy, and it's still charged up, and it's been charged up for months. Well, that's probably no good anymore. Right, so I could actually use this one, 7.4 volt. Yeah, I could use this one. I think I tried this one in my other, in the buggy, and although it is a DigiPower RX Li-Poly bat tray, as what it says right there, it didn't have enough oomph in it. It's meant to be 50C, 25C constant, 1000 milliampere, but it didn't have enough oomph in it. But I tell you what, we will use it, because these servos can take 7.4 volts. They can't take 8 or 0.4 or whatever the other one is. They can't take that, but we should be able to go with that. Now, whether this switch will be able to take that is a different question. Yes, who knows? Well, I haven't actually. Well, that might work. Let's see. Let's get the little screws out. John, you got a screwdriver? John, you got a screwdriver? Thank you. Right, John's giving me a screwdriver. Let's put this switch in, and then we can connect the switch to the bat tray. Oh no, John! John! Got the wrong one! Right, I don't want to cut that because I like them, so let me go and find another switch. Right, the whole box of stuff has gone absolutely flying, and everything's gone everywhere. As usual, my coffee's gone cold because I brought it in here, put it down, and forgot I've even got it. Fine. The only switch that I can find, obviously, look, I know what I can do is I can cut that one that's not used, cut it off with a pair of side cutters, and then we can just plug it into that switch. But I don't like cutting them. I feel really bad for them if I cut off half of their head. So I like to use the correct things if I can. The only other switch I've got is a charge switch, but I've obviously used it, and usually if I don't put the screws back in and all that, the switch is a bad switch. But it's brand new, but I don't know, it's just the way I am. I keep things that don't work, because I think to myself, it might not work now, but it might work the next time I want to try and use it. Yep, I know. That's just my mentality, I'm afraid. So we can plug this tray. Actually, yeah, let's make sure it works before we plug it in. Before we screw it in. Right, so that is in there, and then out of what end is it? Where's the bloody? Right, that one's there. That's for charging. Right, that comes out of there, and that should go into there. Is that right? Yeah, And if we turn it on, we get nothing! Eh? Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. How much electric's in here? If this battery's flat, it's probably had it now. What is it? It's 2S, isn't it? Well, it's got 46% in it, so it's got some electricity. Yeah, just as I suspected. Unless I've got it plugged in the wrong one, which is not that one. That one. Which is quite likely because I often plug things in the wrong holes. Still nothing! Let me get the transmitter out and we'll plug the transmitter in and see what's going on. Yeah, the one and only way to find out if something's broken is to turn it on. It doesn't work. Neither does that. Back in a minute. Right, let's just, because if this switch is broken, if this switch doesn't work, I could try and make it work, but I'll probably just bin it. So yeah, that switch is no good. So if I plug the battery directly into the receiver, it works. So this switch is no good for some reason. It could be the plugs, it could be the switch itself. This is where me becomes me, and I'm going to keep this again now probably, because I think to myself, well, I might be able to take it apart and clean it and make it work. But really what I should do is just throw it away. But I can't bring myself to do that, so I'm going to put it over on this shelf over here. Probably not touch it for another 12.5 years, and with the idea of cleaning it and trying to repair it, but I probably won't, like I say, for another 12.5 years. But anyway, let's cut that off of there, which is what I didn't really want to do, but I'm doing it now, so there we go. And then we can plug that into there. Probably needed to cut it a little bit closer, but it will go, because I'll make it go. And now we can plug that in there. So this switch works. Off. On. Right, we're gonna try and use this battery. As I said, the reason why I don't use it is because I bought it and I tried to use it in my buggy, my S-Works one, and it didn't have enough oomph. Oh, I'll put the switch over in there. It didn't have enough puff in it. What way do I want on to be? We'll have on down, I think. No, we won't. We'll have on forwards, because then that way, if it has a head-on smash, if it smashes into something head-on, it won't flick the switch into the off mode. But if you have the switch so that flicking it forwards towards the front of the car is off, then you will find that if you ever crash forwards into something and there's enough inertia, the switch can move off, which can be a bit of a problem if the throttle's open at the time, because any sort of fail-safe mechanism won't work if the electric's turned off. The fail-safe needs electrical power in order to work. So yeah, if your switch is switched off with a throttle open, you know, you could crash into a curb or a tree or something. There's enough. Trust me, it happens. It happens to me before. Believe it. You might not believe it. You might think there's no way that force is going to make that switch go to off, but it can, and it might do. And if you know the throttle is open at the time of impact, and the switch is off, goes to off, it will stay open. It is as simply dimply as that. And me saying that, what I've gone and done because I'm going to blame you. I'm talking to you. I've put it round the wrong way. So I've put it with off facing forwards now. That's your fault. You will insist on standing there, sitting there and talking to me while I'm trying to do this, distracting me. So that's entirely your fault. It's never my fault. I'm never wrong. It's never my fault. No. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. Orinoco is never wrong. He's always right. Always. Always. Right. That's that in there. Lovely jubbly. It goes in there like that. Sorry, John. Get a lot of things moving around here, a lot of noises and that, and it's always John. It's always John. Right. So now we can put that there like that. That goes there like that. The only thing that it didn't come with, the radio box, the radio tray didn't come with, was screws to screw it down. I don't think. No. Oh, it did. Oh, it did. It did come with screws. I think it only came with 2 though. Yeah. It only came with 2 bolts, 2 screws. Well, we need more than that. So I'm going to have to go through the trusty box, of the trusty drawer of nuts and bolts. I'm trying to get the screws I need. But it's interesting, I wonder why it only came with 2 screws. That's funny, isn't it? I wonder why that is. Anyway. Oh, didn't screw it down, you cock. Why didn't somebody tell me? Alright, let's put that there, then we'll put... Well, the bolts that it came with we'll use to screw the... Oh, piss off. We'll use to screw the radio box down, I suppose. The radio box. The switch tray. Switch... whatever you want to call it. We'll use it to do this. That's a better way of putting it, isn't it? Yeah, we'll use it to do this. I'm really excited for this. And then after I've done this, all I've got to do is fit the exhaust gasket, and then I can put the new springs on, and then we're well away. Might be able to go for a test drive this weekend. You up for that, John? You up for a test drive for the weekend? Yeah? Alright. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Put in the comments. Where shall we go for a test drive? Where shall we go for a test drive at the weekend? Drive at the weekend. Right, so that goes in there. Oh, yes. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. There we go. Oh man, I couldn't be more happy with that. Something tells me it's not going to have much oomph in it, but there we go. Well, hopefully it does. I don't want it to be no good. I want to be able to use that battery. I bought it, so I want to be able to use it. So hopefully it has... Oh, you cocking bastard! You cocking bastard! I don't know. I didn't put the antenna in the aerial tube. I have got an aerial tube for it. Where's it gone? Aerial tube! Oh no, I've lost the aerial tube. There it is. Found it. Look, a little dinky aerial tube. Little black one. When I find the other ones, I'm going to put a coloured one on there because I like the colour. I like coloured aerial tubes. I like purple, green and all that kind of things. I've got orange, purples and greens on all the other cars. And yeah, I like that sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to do there. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'll do it later. Right, that goes up there. I didn't need to really. I could have done it without unscrewing it. I could have done, but it would have just been a bit more difficult than just undoing those 2 screws, feeding it through there like that, and then putting them back again. Right, you've already seen me do that, so I didn't film that bit, but there we go. Let's put the aerial tube elastic on. Oh, beautiful! Look at that! Perfect! Look, you can flick it. Right, flick the bean! I don't know. Orinoco, what are you doing? I don't know. Sorry, I just haven't got a clue. Flick the bean. Oh dear. Well, these are a bit. It's going to be a bit of a tad. It's going to be. I say. That's going to be a bit of a tad fit. Right, that can go there, like that. But I need to get some. I need to go and find some. Just making sure this is going to fit all right with this battery. It should do. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It should just go in there like that. That should just go on there like that. Oh, why is it being a cock? Why is it being a cock? Hey, why is it being a cock? That's it. There we go. Right. Happy days. Right, let me go and find the drawer of nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts. There we go. This is the trusty drawer. Usually you see me pull the drawer out of the chest of drawers, but for the current circumstances that isn't possible. Well, it is, but I can't be bothered to move the camera, so you have to make do with what you've got. That might be a tad too long. Oh, I'm going to have to tip it out again. The amount of times I've tipped this nut and bolt drawer out is unbelievable, but it gets the job done, because this nut and bolt drawer has saved my bacon loads of times. Oh, aha! Absolutely perfect, John. I said that one is absolutely perfect. That's it. Something just doesn't seem right about that, but we'll screw it down anyway. You know what you got. If something don't seem right, just do it anyway. Just go anyway. It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine in the end. Can you see one that I need? Let me know if you can see one, because oh, there's one. Oh, that might do the trick. That might do the trick for that one. Oh, hey, 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 hey. I need one with a little flat head on it to go underneath there. Yes, look at that. Oh yes, perfect, perfect. You just don't understand. You just don't believe what you're seeing. I know. You've probably all been to work, right? Now you're watching this and you can't believe what you're seeing. This here, this is just history in the making. History in the making. Orinoco makes history. I know, it's a crazy thing to hear, but it's true. I'm making history as the largest idiot, largest cock on YouTube. That's going to be too long, but that would have the right head on it. That's going to be too long, but that would have the right head on it. That's what I need for the other side. I need one with a little flat head on it again. I need one like that. If you see one, let me know. I need one like that, yeah, with a little flat head, yeah, but I don't need it that long. It's a bit long, really. I need it a little bit shorter than that. Ah, there's one. Yes, perfect, and it's not rounded. Woohoo! Johnny boy, we're on our way. Woohoo! Let's do that up. Oh, that is beautiful. Now we can slide that underneath there. Nothing like a bit of slidage. And then put that screw in that hole. And then we can screw that hole like that. Hey! This is amazing. Look at this. This is all coming together now. I'll tell you what. I hope that gasket fits, because the way this has gone, something's got to give in a minute. Oh, well, that doesn't fit in there very well, does it? Why can't I find the hole? I have that trouble sometimes. I can't find the bloody hole. I think it's there. There it is. Yes! There we go! One germ-tastic radio box fitted. Right. Let's put, we can leave the air, right, let me just give me a minute to tidy all this up, and then we'll go and fit the other thing. Beep, 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 beep. Transmitter's beeping at me because I left it on for too long with no activity. Right, let me get the bent pliers. Oh, what have I done with the bloody bent pliers? Oh, yeah. Right, these, you can get proper exhaust spring jib jabbies, but I haven't got any, and I don't fancy buying them because they're about 50 squids. Honestly, if you go on some of this stuff for, you know, it's properly majorly overpriced, and you lot know that. You don't need me to tell you that, but it is. You know what I mean? You can get a pair of circlip pliers branded a certain brand. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, they're S-Works, right? 50 quid for a pair of bloody circlip pliers, right? And then you can get exhaust spring hook. It's like a little hook thing, and it makes it easy just to hook your springs. Yeah, 38 quid, 38 pounds. When, I can't remember how much these were when I bought them. I've had these for probably about 20 years. These were probably about 20 quid. I don't know for sure. What brand are they? Nelson. The Nelson brand. I haven't got a clue. I've had them a long, but about 20 years. But anyway, my point is, a pair of pliers does the job absolutely perfectly. Right, let's undo our reds. Yep, I splashed out. I could have just got some gaskets, but I went for reds ones because every single gasket, HPI, you know, every gasket I've got, Kyosho ones, reds, well not reds, bloody HPI, all the other gaskets I've got didn't fit on this. They were too fat. They fitted on the engine side, but they wouldn't fit in the exhaust. They were too fat. And when I thought, I wonder if there's an actual reds gasket, because reds are a little bit notorious for that. They have things that are specific to them. There's loads of brands and engines that are the same, but I thought, I wonder if. And when I went on Answer RC's a little website, and I see that they had these gaskets that say they fit all reds engines, I thought, well, that's the answer to my prayers. And also it's for R series engines, and this is an R series engine. It's a WR, what is it? I've gone and bloody forgotten. It's a WR7 Diamond Edition engine. So this is what I need. This is what I need, John. We'll get a little bit of 3-in-1 oil somewhere else, so we'll get a little bit of after run oil. and we'll just coat the outside of it. And what that does, it'll burn off when it gets hot, but it just makes it a bit easier to slip the exhaust over it. So we'll put this on the engine like that. I'm hoping this is going to fit. Oh, you're joking! It doesn't bloody fit. It's too fat. What exhaust even is this? What? Well, that's not very good, is it? Needs a new gasket on there. What even exhaust is? What even exhaust? What exhaust even is this? Let's well, we've got to sort this out now then, because it's obviously something's a bit weird. Something's not right, John. I know. Well, you need to find out what it is. I know I do. Well, that needs a new gasket on there anyway, because it's all loose, so we'll worry about that later on. Let's get that off of there. You've been outside recently? I went outside over there. There's a lot of gays out there. Very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So let's put this gasket on there like that. Right. Lovely. That goes on there okay. But the manifold, that just won't go on there. It's too fat. This can't be right. Right, that goes in there like that. I wonder if I can do it that way around. Go on, go on. Okay, I've done it that way. But what I should have done was undone the springs. And then I could have just sprung it on there, John. Right. It's not ideal. I don't know why it's like that. Well, I do know why it's like that, because it's obviously the wrong gasket. But see, for those of you that are wondering, normally they just kind of, well, they just slot on. There's, you know, nice bit of resistance, but they just kind of just slot on. But this has got a little bump, little ridge, and that's what's causing the issue. We'll get one of our exhaust springs, we'll put that in there like that. Oops, we'll put that over there, and if I can manage to hold it at the same time, you cock. And put the spring through like that. It shouldn't be like this, and I know you're all going to be shouting at the screen saying blah 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 blah. But I will get it done, don't worry. Right, there we go. That's on there now. Both springs. Now these springs were a little bit too short really for this engine, but I managed to get them on there with me trusty pliers. Now we can get that in there. I have got some new little springs somewhere. I saw them the other day when I was rummaging around. I saw one or two of these little springs, so I think I've even got a packet of them. So I will probably never put them on. See, what I've gone and done now is created a bit of a pickle for myself. Yeah, these springs aren't very tight at all, so they're probably not going to do a lot. Where's the other one? Should have put, really you should put the put these on before you put the manifold on, but it was a little bit difficult, it was, because it was just easier to not have the exhaust attached to the manifold while I was fannying around with it. If you know what I mean. Does that make any sense to you? Yeah. Good. Oh, you bastard, dear John. Dear John. I might have to write John a letter one day and say, will you stop being such a cock? See what he says. See what he says back. Oh, that's easier. Why didn't I do that to start with? Ah. Right. So we've got a new gasket on with very, very loose springs on that side. A new gasket that side with very, very tight springs. Which is good, because that's holding that nice and tight. What I will do for future, for those of you that have probably been shouting at the screen and doing all kinds of things, panicking and all that kind of stuff, what do I do this time? What I'm going to do is, you can get gaskets for the manifold which don't have a ridge at all. Now that's supposed to, this exhaust obviously a bit long. You can get gaskets that don't have a ridge, so I'll get one of them, because that's obviously what this exhaust is going to have. The other option that I was thinking about doing, I probably won't do, but I was thinking about doing, is getting a Reds pipe to match the engine. So I've got Reds pipe on the Reds engine. I was thinking about it. I don't know what pipe this is. For all I know, it could already be a Reds pipe, but I think the very nice chap that I bought this from did tell me what the name of this pipe was, but as usual I probably just didn't listen, and I don't know the answer. I don't know what pipe it is. That is going to leak like a sieve out of there, but that's good. That's good. That's good. We don't like keeping fumes in captivity. It's bad. Shouldn't keep animals in captivity unless it's for their own good. So we shouldn't be keeping fumes in captivity either. They need to be escaping wherever they can. Right, back in a minute. Right. Unbeknownst to you, I just tried to start. I could be. I'm being honest now. I could lie and forget that, and then because you wouldn't know, because I forgot to press record. But I just tried to start it. It wouldn't start. So I've just taken the plug out. But what I was saying was, I haven't got any more plugs. The plug works, but don't tell it I haven't got any more, because if it knows I haven't got any more, then it might not work, and then I need to go and buy some more. All right. So don't tell it that. All right. Cover its little ears up. It doesn't know. What an absolute bastard you are! Let's see. Can I see it going through? Oh. Oh, that's... Need to set that end point a little bit better. It's a bit flooded now, I think. John! You've only gone and flooded it, mate. Well, what do you want me to do about it? Right, now we're going to have to take the plug out again. Why did you do that for? That was a serious bit of flood. That's right, we've got it going again now. Right, let's put this back in. We know the fuel is definitely getting through, so we can hopefully have a happy day now. I do think the glow starter's probably a little bit flat, but that's alright. There we go. We got there in the end. Well, that shows that them gaskets aren't leaking because it stopped straight away when I pushed my finger on that exhaust. Well, there we go, you lot. That is done now as far as I'm concerned. We've got gaskets, we've got springs, we've got servos, we've got receiver, we've even got a battery that I didn't expect to be using, but maybe that receiver battery is going to have enough oomph in it to get it going, well, to work. The servos that I had in the that I've got in the S-Works buggy, they're a bit more of a meaty servo, you know what I mean? They're capable of 8 point something volts, whereas these ones are 7.4 maximum, so they're not quite as juicy. So maybe that little 1000 milliamp battery will have enough to actually be okay, because in the buggy it ran out of oomph within probably about 2 minutes from being fully charged. I thought either it's a dicky battery or it just hasn't got enough oomph, whereas, you know, these are a bit less of an oomphless servo, so maybe they'll be okay. But either way, the Truggy is now perfect. Let's put a shell on it. Can't remember what the majority of the comments said now between the two shells, but the choices I've got is between that purple one there or that red and yellow one, and if I'm honest, I think I prefer the purple one with the yellow spoiler. But I don't know, man, I can switch whenever I want to switch. I'll do either one, But there we go. So if you want to see this Truggy for the first drive in my hands, it'll be coming up very, very soon. Think about sticking around. The engine sounded sweet. The bearings might sound a little bit rumbly, but it hasn't ran for, well, I know it's approximately 2 years now, because the bloke I bought it from said it's been about 2 years since it last ran. So I've put plenty of oil down it. I've left it I've left it sitting for a couple of weeks while I was getting them parts, and it had oil in it. I've worked it all around. So, and by the way, for those of you that were wondering, yes, I did heat it up before I started it. That's why I was revving it straight away. If I'd started it from stone cold, I would never have been revving it like that to start with. But because I heated it up before I started it, it's already warm, so you can rev it as much as you like. That I'm probably going to have people screaming and writing comments to say you shouldn't be revving it when it's cold. It wasn't cold. I warmed it up with a heat gun before I started it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Think about sticking around if you like this sort of thing. What I normally do is get barn finds, shed finds, loft find Nitro cars that have been under beds, you know, covered in dog hair usually, that sort of thing. Haven't ran for a long, long time. Some of them 30, 40 years old. And I get them, and I try and get them for as little money as I possibly can. Get them up and running and sell them on to get them back into the circulation of Nitro. The idea is to try and keep Nitro as a hobby up and running, because so many people these days haven't got, they just can't be bothered to do anything that takes more than a couple of seconds and isn't very easy. So I want to make it as easy as possible for people to get into Nitro. So thanks for watching. Think about sticking around if you like all that sort of thing, and I'll see you in the next one when we go and give this Truggy its very first test drive in my hands with that engine in, and well, as it is. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best.